Hello guys, what's going on? My name is Gemini. Today we're gonna talk about the Nightbird. I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks that I usually use on a regular basis when I fly the helicopter and the Nightbird especially. So yeah, I'm gonna give you the best I can to improve your skill and your survivability on the battlefield. Before we start, I want to mention that 90% of the people that watch my video are not subscribed to the channel. So if you like this kind of content and you like Battlefield 2042, you should consider to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, just do it. I'm also streaming on Twitch every single day to twitch.tv/Gemini899. So I will also wait you there, drop a follow. And yeah, now we can start with the video. Okay guys, before we start, I do want to make a disclaimer. The Nightbird after the season 1 has become extremely harder. Way harder than it was before, way harder than ever. This because a few key elements has been added to the game. One being the TV missile. The TV missile basically killed the helicopter, then the Nightbird in one hit. So I'm gonna try my best to explain how you can deal with those annoying TV. And also, I'm gonna explain you how you can deal with the stealth helicopter, which is also a new element that's been introduced with the season 1. Okay, when it comes to settings, I'm using default settings. I don't use rifle aim. Many people ask me, Gemini, do you use rifle aim? I do not use rifle aim. It's been over 10 years that I fly helicopters, even in previous battlefield, so I build a really good aim with the default settings, and I'm not going to change it. But if you are just starting playing battlefield and you like helicopter, you can consider to test rifle aiming, because in my opinion, for a beginner, I think it's easier to pick up when it comes, you know, to aim, because it will feel like more like you are shooting on the ground with a weapon rather than using your keyboard to roll. But another thing I want to mention is, if you play on console, these tips that I'm giving to you, those also apply for console. Even though I have absolutely no clue how the helicopters works on the controller, I'm assuming it should be kind of the same, even though I cannot give you any kind of sensitivity tips on that. Now, this is my sensitivity, and it will not make you cracked or crazy. Like, this is my settings. It does not mean that will work perfect for you. You have to find your own sensitivity. You have to play a little bit around it. My suggestion is go in the boat lobby and start using the helicopter. Start shooting the boats, and just tweak a little bit the sensitivity, increase it or decrease it. And you don't have to be too slow with the sensitivity, but you also don't need to be too too high with the sensitivity. Try to find a good spot that makes you feel confident, and you just like it, and you feel like you are being accurate with it. Okay, now let's talk about the loadout. The loadout on the Nightbird is just 70mm rocket pods and minigun. This is the default loadout, and you don't want to change it. It's the best loadout. It will give you the most firepower when it comes to shreds infantry, and honestly, you can consider using the AGM to deal a little bit with land vehicle. But this is not a Nightbird job. Like, yes, you can do it, but in my opinion, it's just not worth it. You can make a lot more kills by using the 7mm rocket pods, especially when you have to deal with these annoying people that use RAW and Stinger every time. You definitely want to use 7mm rocket pods. And after talk about the loadout, let's talk about minigun. Aiming with the minigun is very difficult in this game. Unfortunately, it's not straightforward. You probably noticed that when you aim with a minigun and you try to center the circle on the enemy, most of the time you will end up not hitting him. This is because the miniguns have a different pattern on this game. Like, the convergence is a bit weird. To put it in an easy way, you kind of want to find one side of the minigun that's more, you know, close to the enemy, just follow the tracer and just keep the aim steady and just kill the guy, you know, trying to track him with one minigun. Do not use both of minigun. You will end up not landing the shots, especially when you are very close. When you are very close, you need to choose which sides you want to prioritize to you know, track and make sure that you are landing the shots with the tracer. Just look at the tracer and just keep tracking it, and don't focus too much on the circle, on the crosshair. Okay, now let's talk about survivability. How do we survive with the Nightbird in the battlefield? Well, I have to say it's tough now. It's very tough. Stealth helicopter is very strong. It will wreck you really fast, especially if he has a gunner. And transport, it's, I don't know, it's very tough. Transport is probably the strongest vehicle, even after several nerfs. There is nothing we can do about it, but I am going to give you some tips that will definitely improve and increase your survivability. So the first tips is fly and stay around the closest flag from your base. Do not overcommit too much. Do not stay too much in the center of the map. Try to focus on the closest flag that's close to your base, and I will guarantee you will survive longer, because you have to deal with less stuff, because the flag that's closer to your base most of the time is not the flag that's most contested. Usually the middle flag, the one that's in the middle of the map, is the one that's been most contested with people, even though there is some occasion when you are getting like base rape and all the flag that's being taken, and the last flag, you know, the closest flag from your base is the last flag. And then in that case, obviously you have no option. You have to stay on that flag. But even if there is more people in the middle of the map, you want to focus that flag just to not overcommit too much. And now I'm gonna give you an example why you should do that. Let's say you are in the middle of the map and you get locked on. You kill the guy that locked on you, that was trying to kill you, and that's fine. You use the flare. Now what's gonna happen? You don't have flare. So what are you going to do? You're going to back up. You're going to try to find a cover, something that you can hide behind. But what's going to happen? Maybe the flag that's close to your base is already contested. So you now have the chance that somebody's going to spawn on that flag. And it might happen that the guy that you just killed, it might spawn on that flag. So he's going to look at the sky, he's going to see you there, and you're going to get killed, because you don't have countermeasure, because you have to travel longer to get in the safe spot. So basically your back is never you know, clean. You're always gonna have people in your back that's gonna lock on you. So stay in the closest flag from your base is always the best option when it comes to go behind cover and hide. You are sure that behind you there is nobody and you are not going to get locked on, unless obviously an helicopter or a jet is pushing you, and obviously that might happen, but you have to have good awareness, and this is exactly what I am going to cover next. Now, awareness is probably the best tips that I can give it to you, just as a general helicopter pilot. And the minimap is gonna deliver you probably most of information on what's happening around you. Even if you maybe don't see anybody closer to you, you might think that you are you know, safe and there is no one. Well, just take a look at the minimap, because maybe there is a few people hiding in the bushes that you didn't realize it. And another tricks that I can give it to you, you can actually switch and press G, and that will activate a scan that will detect any nearby infantry player. Now when it comes to the minimap, you cannot increase the minimap, unfortunately, because there is not a specific option on this game, even though there is a way that you can increase the minimap a little bit. If you check here on the screen, you can check these settings, which is called world info scale. You can rise up this to the maximum, which is 125%, and this will also increase the size of the text from the people that you know, in your squad, but this will also increase the size of the minimap. So you might consider doing that. And obviously the awareness, it's not only the minimap. You should be always looking at the sky. The minimap, I'll say it's 50% of your awareness. The other 50%, it just become, you know, watching at the sky, checking, you know, what's happening on the map. Do enemy have a helicopter? If they don't have an helicopter, it means that will probably spawn soon. Do they have transport? How many transport they have? What is the transport? Is the transport in the middle of the map? Is the transport helicopter pushing the flag that I am on? So if the transport is pushing, then it means that I probably want to back up a little bit, maybe wait that the transport takes some damage, or perhaps that I also have a transport helicopter, a teammate transport helicopter that's close to me, so I have a more chance to fight them. So yeah, this is awareness, guys. You want to always make sure that you know exactly what's going on around you. Don't focus too much the infantry and forget about it, because if you focus too much the infantry, it will happen that you will get pushed and you will not even realize. Maybe there is a transport right above you or a stealth helicopter right above you about to shoot you and you don't even know, and then it will happen that you get caught off guard, and then most likely you will die. So yeah, awareness, best tips that I can give it to you. It will increase your survivability. Just look at the minimap, look at the sky, understand what's happening and what is the priority. Okay, now let's go to engaging infantry. Engaging infantry is probably what you want to do most of the time as a Nightbird pilot, because this is the role. This is what the scout helicopter was meant to be, an infantry killer. So my suggestion is try to keep a really low profile. Don't expose yourself too much, because the Nightbird is not like an attack helicopter. It's just way weaker, and there is just that much amount of hit that you can take. It's a very low when it comes to armor, and you can also get shot out the cockpit very easy. So keep a low profile. Try to, you know, fly low to the ground, but not too low that you can get hit by recoilless, perhaps, if you don't see somebody that's very close. Just try to stay behind cover, behind, you know, tiny building, tiny object. Don't expose yourself too much. Give as less information about your position as possible. This is definitely a really key element when it comes to just survivability. And this will also challenging you more to improve your helicopter handling. You know, you will improve without even knowing, because you are flying low to the ground, which is obviously harder, because also to the ground magnet. Ground magnet is a problem that the Nightbird has at the moment. But yeah, but try to keep a low profile. Just fly around tiny object, mountain, perhaps some tree as well. And when you see those chunk of people, when you see you know, some infantry, then you want to attack. So now let's see, you have spotted some infantry. Now you're ready to go behind the cover to peek and push. My suggestion is, do not get too aggressive. Do not overcommit too much, because the Nightbird, when it's very close, it's a really easy target. And you might not realize when you are flying, especially if you use the maximum amount of FOV, you think you are really fast, but in reality it's not like that. Recoilless, it's very fast on this game, so it's not super hard to hit a Nightbird. And another tips that I wanted to give you, if you start shooting the people with a minigun, okay, do not get too close to them. Try to reset, perhaps, if you are, you know, getting too close. Try to stop yourself, try to hold yourself, reset a little bit, back up a little bit, and if you have room, if you are not getting locked on, then start shooting again. Also, another tips that I want to give you, when you use the minigun, do not stand still. Do not stand still. Try to roll, try to catch, you know, the momentum. Try to make yourself not an easy target. You're gonna want to give the enemy, the opponent, enough time to shot you. So my suggestion is try to roll a little bit. Try to roll on the right and then maybe roll to the left while keeping your aim steady. This is something that's not easy in the beginning. It requires a lot of practice and just raw aim. But I'm pretty sure if you practice, this will come with time. This will come with time. It's not that hard. Just trust me. You will improve on that. Now, obviously, you can use the rocket pods. The rocket pods are really strong. It's probably the strongest weapon on the Nightbird. Borderlines overpowered, in my opinion, because there is just a little bit the enemy can do to dodge rocket pods. Even if they are behind the cover, you can splash damage them. The rocket pods has got a nerf in the last patch. The rate of fire has got decreased. Also, the replenish time has got nerfed a little bit. So they still very strong though. They still extremely viable, and do not be afraid to use them even on a light vehicle. In my opinion, if you see a jeep, the best way to kill the jeep is not using the minigun, but just using the rocket pods, because the time to kill will be faster. You will not destroy the jeep, but you will probably ended up killing the person inside with the splash damage. Alright, let's talk about dogfighting a stealth helicopter. So the way you want to dogfight a stealth helicopter, you want to make sure that it does not have a gunner. So stay away from him. As soon you see that he does not have a gunner, you can realize that really easily by just putting a focus on the turret. If the turret is not moving and is not shooting, it means that probably nobody is in the gunner seat. So try to catch him off guard, gain altitude, match his altitude, and get close to him. You have to be very close because the Nightbird minigun have a lot of spread. And so you want to make the distance short and get very close to him. Also because if he's using its seekers, he will easily out damage you. So get very close to him, try to catch him off guard, make sure you have the same altitude, and then start shooting with the minigun. You can also use some rocket pods, especially in the beginning when he's distracted, to gain more an advantage. But make sure you have a little bit of higher ground, because the stealth helicopter does have more engine power, so you will in the process probably lose the higher ground very fast. So you want to make sure in the beginning you are in the higher ground advantage. And TV missile, let's talk about the TV missile and the AA missile as well. Why not? So let's talk about the TV missile first. The Nightbird is very agile, so it's very easy to dodge TV missile, also because it's very small. But you have to understand that if you get hit by TV missile, it's over. The Nightbird gets one shot, so you really want to be very aware of what's happening around you. This is why I always say awareness is the key. The TV missile makes a very indistinguishable noises. You hear him and you also see an icon on the map. The best way, in my opinion, to deal with the TV missile is having a good timing. Trying to move in a steady position. Try to move in a forward position. Try to back up or going forward. And when you see the missile that's very close to you, about to hit you, you have to be really good with timing. When it's very close to you, you want to do a really fast maneuver, perhaps on the right side or on the left side, because you want to make the missile able to you want to basically outturn the missile, and when it's very close, you outturn the missile, so the missile cannot turn at the same speed as you, so it will end up just missing you and going past you. And when it comes instead to dodging AA missile, unfortunately you cannot dodge the FXM. You cannot dodge them. You will always get hit unless you don't flare. But you can dodge air-to-air missile from Wildcat, from attack helicopter, from stealth helicopter. You can dodge those. So if you know for a certain that you are getting locked on from Wildcat or just air-to-air missile, what you want to do is wait that the missile has been fired. As soon the missile has been fired, try to just make a really short turn. Keep your nose up and try to engage a lot of momentum in one direction, so the missile has to make a really steady and short turn, and it will end up just spinning around you. It takes a little bit of practice to understand how it works, but once you master that, it becomes really handy to dodge air-to-air missile, especially when you're fighting a stealth helicopter that's locking you from distance. When it comes to Wildcat or the anti-aircraft, whatever you want to call it, you can't really do much about it. You cannot deal with the Wildcat. It's not your job. If you are running the AGM, however, you can still do some damage, but pretty good damage. The problem is you have to do that in a really, really stealthy way, from really far away distance, because the 30mm right now it's very strong. So yeah, my suggestion is just try to break the line of sight. Do not push the Wildcat. And the same thing goes for the tank. If you see a tank that's nearby, do not fly low. You're gonna get shelled. So if you see a tank that's very close, just fly away from them. Fly away, keep a distance, and also keep altitude. Do not fly low if you are close to a tank. Now the last tip is transport helicopter. Well, good luck. There is literally nothing you can do about it. You do not want to take a 1v1 versus a transport helicopter, because at the moment it's the strongest air vehicle, has way too much health. Like, the only thing that I can suggest to you is stay away, stay really far away from them. You can fight them sometime if they are really unaware, and if you realize that they don't have both minigun occupied, and maybe if they are also getting shot by someone else. But do not take a 1v1 with the transport. Just stay away from them. If they are chasing you, try to hide. It's the only thing you can do. You just gonna die. They are way too strong. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. As always, I will catch you in the next one. I'm gonna leave you with the rest of the video here in the background, and hope you like it, and I will catch you soon. Bye.
Thanks for the games. It was fun. See ya.